Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins. In today's video, we're going to talk about how you can use a 7th chord to create some really cool, interesting progressions. Let's take a look. The one thing that's really cool about playing guitar is you got all these different types of chords that you can form with it. And in a sense, chords are kind of like colors to a painter. You know, if you have, like, let's say green, you might have like a light green, you might have an emerald green, you might have like a forest green. You know, there's all kinds of different shades of green. Well, to a guitar player, chords are the same thing, okay? Like, for instance, if you have a C, or let's say you have a D, and you change it to a D minor, it's going to give you a different type of tone, okay? Different sound, different emotion, okay? Just like a painter paints with paints, with colors, we're kind of doing the same thing with chords. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about a 7th chord and how we can do that to create some really interesting progressions. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our C chord, because this is a very common chord. If you don't know your C natural, I'd highly recommend you learn that. You should probably know that by now. But anyway, it's your C major chord right here, natural. Now, if we take our pinky and we put it right here on the 3rd string of the 3rd fret, right underneath our ring finger, now we have a C7 chord. About these chords is you can move them up and down the fretboard like this, and they change. You don't have to change the shape of the chord, just where it's located. So where you move it up and down the fretboard is what changes the actual chord itself, but the shape stays the same. That's what's really neat about these types of chords, is you can keep the shape the same and just move it up and down the fretboard. Is where when you're using these natural chords, you're changing the shape of your fingers, so it can make it a little bit more difficult, okay? And you should have that down by now anyway. If not, I would highly recommend go back and learn that, okay? So, first of all, we want to learn the shape of the chord, okay? So we start with our C, we put our finger down here on the 3rd string, that's our flattened 7, okay? And then we move it up the fretboard to change the actual chord itself. So that's step 1, form the chord. Step 2, we want to try to get our pinky involved. A lot of times with people when they play guitar, they don't use their pinky, okay? The pinky can be very beneficial to your playing. It can be beneficial to your rhythm playing and your lead playing, okay? So regardless of whether you want to play lead guitar or whether you want to play rhythm guitar, it doesn't really matter. Utilizing your pinky can make a big difference in your playing, okay? And then, for instance, right here, we can use it to form a C major 7 chord. So the first thing we want to do is get that pinky involved, okay? Get your pinky involved in anything that you're doing. It's very, very important, okay? And one thing that can really help is if you do like finger exercises, like this. Finger warm-ups. And really get that pinky going, you know what I mean? Because it really makes a difference when you're trying to embellish chords as well, you know, like your 7, or you're trying to do something else, you know what I mean? It makes a big difference. So, number 1, learn how to form the major chord, and then add that pinky. Get that pinky involved, very, very important. That can really help out your playing. Just that one thing alone can really help your playing out a lot, okay? So, first of all, you want to get that pinky to push down on that string, and it's a little hard at first, especially if you're not used to using your pinky. So you might have to work with this a little bit, practice a little bit, okay? Get to where you can form that chord real nice, and then get to where you can move it up the fretboard. Maybe stay on the dots for right now, just for right now. This is what I used to do when I was first learning a long time ago. I didn't really know too much. I would kind of stick with the dots. I'd say, okay, that's on that dot, move to this one, move to this one, move to this one. Back and forth. Then once I learned my notes, then I would know exactly, you know, what chords I was going to, okay? So that comes to our next tip, is learn your notes on the fretboard, okay? I've talked about this many times, and I have a free training guide on how to memorize a fretboard. I'll leave it in the link below. Be sure to grab that if you don't know your notes, because they really help you out a lot, okay? If you know your notes on your all the notes on the strings and the fretboard, then you know where those chords are located. Like, for instance, this is a C because this is our C root right here, and this is another C right here, okay? So if I know that's a C, then I know that if I move it up 2 frets, I'm going to make a D. That's a D7. If I move it up 2 more frets, it's going to be an E7. If I move it up 1 fret, it'll be an F. 2 more, it's going to be a G. Okay, so I know the G is right here at the 10th fret. F is right here at the 8th fret. E is at the 7th. D is at the 5th. C is at the 3rd. So if I want to make a progression, let's say I want to go from C to E, I know I would need to go from the 3rd fret to the 7th. If I want to add an F in there, it's just 1 more fret up. The G, 2 frets up. And you memorize these, you memorize where these notes are, then you can create some really cool chord progressions. You know, you can do from C, you can go from C to G up here if you really wanted to. Now there are other places that you can play your G7 that are probably a little bit closer, but what we're doing is we're just trying to use this example to move up and down the fretboard, okay? We're not looking for other Gs that are closer. What we're looking for is just moving up and down the fretboard with this one chord shape. That's this whole exercise, okay? So yes, there are chords that are closer, but that's not what we're trying to accomplish. What we're trying to accomplish is just moving this one chord up and down the fretboard and knowing where we want to land it on a particular chord. E, D, G, F, okay? Alright, so that's what our lesson is for today, is take that chord and practice getting that pinky involved. I know it's a little difficult, but you can do it, okay? I know you can do it, and like I said, if you need help, be sure to grab my training guide. I'll leave it in the link below. It's free and it'll help you really memorize your fretboard really fast, okay? And also, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you have anything to mention in the comment, maybe something I didn't mention, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'll be sure to answer those, and make sure to click the bell for future notifications and all that good stuff, all right? So practice your chords and be sure you're practicing every day. That really makes a difference, all right? And you have yourself a good one. And until our next lesson, take care. Audio Jungle.